Hello everyone. Hello everyone. I am Ms. Saili Jadhav, Department of Civil Engineering. So here we are learning our subject, that is construction management. So we started our first chapter, that is construction industry and management. So our next topic is principle of organization. Now what are the principles of organization? Many principles have been enumerated by management scholars such as Tyler, Fayol, Bernard. Okay, many of these principles have been applied by well-managed American companies. Now, the first one principle is part of responsibility and authority. So the one cannot exist without the other. A person cannot be held responsible for duties if he does not have the power to do. Responsibility cannot be delegated or shifted. The responsibility of a superior of the action of his subordinates by is absolute. Now the next one is balance. In every organization there must be balance. Third one is flexibility. So in organization should not resist to changes those are necessary due to technological changes, economical changes and personal changes. Now the fourth one is continuity. The organization must provide means for effective continuity. Now the fifth one is leadership. So the organization must create situation where managers can effectively lead, and the organization is technique of leadership in the sense of above. Now the next one is division of work. So in division of work, it has been mentioned while studying the Fayol principles of management, the principle of specialization, which is not produced more and better work with the same efforts. Now the next one is functional definition. So the department is a grouping of activities to make organization effective and efficient. The activities must be defined. There must be clear specification of duties and the authority relationships. And then the unity of demand. So in this comes under the functional definitions. So unity of commandments, this is already there must be only one immediate boss or a superior. Then the unity of direction. So there must be one head and one plan for a group of activities having the same objective. Then the exception of principles, span of controls, communication. So communication, this is the vital for an organization to succeed. If the communication is bad, then there is no improvement of your work. Okay, now the next one is contribution made by the engineering professions. So in contribution comes under the civil engineering is one of the oldest profession ever practiced by civilized world. Historical evidence shows that earliest structure built where the civil engineering works. So during a few centuries, vast strides have been made by a people all over the world. So the advances made in the field of civil engineering are too many were very striking. The profession has offered the civil engineer great challenges to his genius. The economical growth of a country is related to the growth of engineering and technology. Now the nature of the work. Now the functions of personal management. Now what is the personal management? For efficient of use of all other resources, efficient use of human resources in employment is essential. The personal management is the part of management which is specifically concerned with the people in the organization. Men is the most important factor of the production, but very complicated part of the duties of the manager. Okay, so let us see the functions of personal management. So the functions of personal management, first one is procurement and maintenance of adequate work phase as regards to both the number of the number and utility quality of personnel. It involves recruitment, then interviewing, then testing, then next one is induction, placement, follow up of new employees for adjustment, then merit rating, then the promotions, transfers, discharge, employment records. Then the next one is education and training of the present employed. It involves job instructions, economic education, records of statistic, training by audio visual aids. So the next one is maintaining the satisfactory personal contacts and relationships. It involves job analysis and job specification, then wages and rewards, then the labor turnover, then the morale studies. Then the next one is maintaining satisfactory group relationships, that is contacting employee groups, then the contracting employee representative, then the integrating group interest. The next one is maintaining employees health, so it involves health standards, sanitation control, rest periods, recitation, etc. Then the treatment of minor injuries, diseases. Then in maintaining employees safety, it involves safety guards and inspection of safety equipment, safety programs, safety records, fire protection. Then maintaining employees service welfare, it involves saving and investment plans, group insurance, pensions, recreation plans. So the personal manager is mainly concerned with this manpower planning, recruitment, placement, training, motivating, performance appraisal, wage standardization, rationalization, public relation and welfare. Now the roles of construction industry in national development. So the India has attained her political freedom, however her economical freedom is yet to be achieved. So the statement are formulating plans and projects. So the mainly civil engineering projects such as dams, canals, roads, railways, bridges building for the development of the country. There are number of burning problems in our country. To illustrate a few, that is shortage of food, fuel, unemployment, facilities. All these problems necessitates provision of more and more civil engineering project in future. So in this developing country, construction activities play very important role and consumes major share of budget. It will be seen from our record that out the total 6 to 5 years plans is complicated so far. Okay, so this is your roles of construction industry and national development. Now the next one is development of small scale. So small scale civil engineering industries in India, that is a remarkable changes of in the policy of the government towards the small scale industry. It is observed that the view of peculiar conditions, especially of population, availability of resources, etc. Small scale industries are small units. They use a power and the small machines and employ a small number of workers. So the advantages are employment potential, then the capital light, then the third one is self employment, because of that provides a limitless opportunity for self employment. Then quick yielding, in small scale industries start yielding with comparatively short time. Then the fifth one is capital formation. A person starting his business will collect capital from his own source, from the relatives and friends. Then the sixth one is decentralization. So it comes the small industry will bring decentralization of industries and will thus promote the project of regional development. And then the seventh one is relieving congestion in urban areas by providing this gainful employment in the rural areas Flow of population to urban areas can be controlled and congestion in urban areas can be changed. What are the roles of small scale industries? So it reduces the unemployment, to increase the national income, then to reduce the shortage of consumer goods, then to accelerate the economic growth, then to promote the regional development, then to reduce the inequalization and to reduce overcrowding urban areas. Then small scale construction industries. So the small scale construction industries are extraction of engineering material nature, that is soil, murum, sand, limestone, manufacturer of materials, that is brick, tiles, pipe, then woodworks, door, windows, cupboard, then the supply of engineering material, then the steel work, steel grills work, then manufacturing of housing as an industry. So all this comes under small scale construction industries. Now the next one is job layout or site layout. So the job layout or a site layout is a scaled drawing of proposed construction site showing the relevant features, that is the entry point at site, exit point from site, office. All these are your drawing in your uh, building subject, building drawing subject. Okay, so you draw this job layout. When you draw your sheets, the planning of room, building, school. Okay, so here in job layout this comes bar bending areas, washrooms, toilet, labor housing. Okay, all this comes under this job layout or site layout. So the preparing of job layout or a site layout is a plan which arrangements of placing site office, storeroom, labor quarter, medical aid center, godowns for keeping construction materials and the other facilities are properly prepared or chalked is called as job layout or a site layout. So the job layout depends upon method of construction, nature and type of work, then the availability of space, availability of resources, then the requirement of site office, storeroom, labor quarters, godowns, first aid. Okay, from this there is site clearance is important factor. So in site clearance to be considered in the job layout plans before commencement of the project work, this there should be not any obstruction like trees, plants, shrubs, bigger size stones, etc. So in short, site should be cleared by all the way, otherwise no activity can be launched in construction processes. So the purpose of this and necessity of job layout is to save the time, then to safeguard construction material, to avoid the cost of cartages, then to avoid to provide the safety of workers, then to avoid the time delay in getting the material, and to reduce the cost of project. And the next one is advantages of job layout. So what are the advantages? It saves the time of project, cost of project, then it gives safety in working, then it gives the proper use of materials, it minimizes the wastage of materials and protect the material from damage. All this comes under the advantages of job layout. Now the next one is layout for a storage material. So what are the important points for the preparation of a plan for job layout? So the materials are required in job layout. We learning the storage materials for that job layout. Materials are required to store near the work to reduce the cost of transportation and easy handling of materials. Machines are placed in the most advantageous position. Proper access to vehicle coming at site for various reasons. Then the sufficient place for a movement should be available near the work for easy movement of labor and machinery. Proper and suitable location should be provided to store additional or excess materials. then the layout should be planned in such a way that this facilitates maximum efficiency in minimum movement to save time and money also. Fencing and hoarding at a site is required for safety and identification of your projects. So this is the diagram of your job layout plan for temporary services at a site. You give the temporary services at this site. So you can see here, this is your washrooms, brick tiles. So this is the storage for on that job layout. That is your first one is water supply, electric supply, okay, temporary services, telephone lines. So this is your brick tiles, aggregates, sand, store room. So this is, it gives here the dimension also. Here you can see the entry of this job layout site. Now the next one is site layout for a multi-storied building. So here is the main road, then entrance, then here come office, then stores, cement store, okay, then this is the your building construction, okay, the main site of your building. And here is the storages, that is your bar bending, steel yard, brick, and there is a fencing over here, okay, then the toilet. So this is your simple job layout, comes under this construction industry and management. Okay, so here we complete our chapter 1, that is construction industry and management. Okay, thank you.